Hey everybody, welcome to J&J on Jazz, powered by Jazzwire. This is my friend James Moore, and we're in the studio together here, and I can kind of tell he's been wearing that shirt for probably like 3 days. Is that right, James?
I've been wearing this shirt for 3 days, and Jeff, I can absolutely tell my friend Jeff has been wearing his pants since the beginning of COVID, right?
I have. They're very comfortable, and no one has seen me from the waist down for a long time, so I'm just going with it. For sure. So, all right, we want to talk to you guys about momentum in our playing. Now, we can have rhythmic momentum, but I know Hal Gelper, great pianist, talks about having momentum in our lines. And I am in no way, I don't know his thing, and maybe James does, but this idea about getting momentum in our lines is sort of an important thing. And to me, there's an easy way to do this. And it does link up with some rhythmic stuff. And so we'll get to that in a second. James, do you have any kind of initial thoughts on this idea of momentum, this word momentum?
I do. So I am going to let you play first because this one was your idea. But my initial thoughts are momentum. Yes. A lot of times when I work with players, they equate momentum to lots of notes. And that doesn't necessarily track. Sure, if you're playing lines that have energy, they're going to have a forward momentum. But to me, it's less about the amount of notes, and it's more about what beats you emphasize at the beginnings and of the ends of your phrases. So I'll be interested to hear your take on that as I make you go first with the playing.
Oh, I like that. I'll take that. I'll do it. All right. And by the
cool.
way, before we get going with this, I got my Maryland summer jazz shirt on, but Maryland winter jazz is coming up. It's coming up January 21st, 22nd, 23rd. It's 3 days long. It's online. And we've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of online workshops. And these are incredibly powerful. We have people coming back workshop after workshop. So if you're not quite sure what a jazz workshop online could possibly be, incredible. So we have some fantastic faculty. Chase Sanborn from the University of Toronto on trumpet. We have Steve Herberman, one of my good friends and co-teachers here, great 7-string guitarist. We have special guest Eric Alexander on saxophone. We have Rogério Bocato, one of the great Brazilian percussionists working in New York, and some other folks coming in on faculty too. So visit the website, Maryland Winter Jazz. We only have 25 people come in for the winter session, so it's always sold out. So jump on it quickly. When you join us for Maryland Winter Jazz, you also come in and work with us in Jazzwire before the workshop, during the workshop, after workshop. Very powerful. So this idea about momentum, I'm going to say, let's talk about the and of 4. So how about a swing and rhythm like this? Dot, dot, do, dot, dot. So I'm singing quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth. So 1, 2, 3, and. I'm resting on beat 4, and then the and of 4. Bop, bop, boo, dot, dot. 2, 3, 4. Dot, dot, do, dot, dot. Feels different than dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. There's no such thing as a bad rhythm, I don't think, but the first one swings harder. I'm moving into that second measure. So the idea is I want us not landing on beat 1 of the next measure, but on the and of 4. So now when we think about it, let's think about a blues. I'm going to play an F concert blues for you guys. The second measure of an F blues is the 4 chord, B flat 7. We go from an F chord to a B flat 7 chord. Now, there's nothing wrong with landing right smack on the second measure. I might play this. So yes, I was banging out the downbeats, but that was pretty boxy sounding, right?
Yeah,
now, a great comper, a great drummer, a great bass player is actually going to get to the chord change in the second measure on the and of 4 of the first measure. 1, 2, 3, change. They're going to change on the and of 4 more often than they're going to play right on beat 1. So that may be a big deal. Here's the thing, you shouldn't trust me. I'm just a guy with a really nice shirt on. I could be anybody. This could be BS. James is like,
Well-
uh-huh. Yeah. So how about this? How about go listen to an album? Listen to 3 different blues recordings and see if I'm steering you right. I am. Okay, so let me do this. Let me play through a chorus of blues, and I'm going to play bop, bop, boo, doo, bop, rest, 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 bop, bop, doo, doo, bop, rest. So I'm going to play that all the way through, but the point is, here's the thing. When I hit that end of 4, that last note of my rhythm, I'm changing the harmony to fit the next chord. So I'm not just playing F, 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 F. No, I'm playing F, 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 B flat. I'm getting to the next chord early. That gives us momentum. If everything's kind of in its spot or just a little laying back, it's heavy sounding. It doesn't have this momentum we're after. So let me play an example for you and see if you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. The last note of every rhythm is going to be anticipating the next chord. So it's going to be anticipating in rhythm, but anticipating in harmony. That's kind of the big deal. Here we go. 1, 2, 1.
And you fit a bugle call in there. I love the bugle call.
It was sort of a cornet call. I'm not sure if you know about the cornet, but that's kind of what I was doing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys heard that. So now there was, and I used that rhythm, and after a while I started embellishing it. It was, it's a very locked in rhythm. But that and of 4. Now, does it always need to be the and of 4 in every second measure? No. The whole point is start playing into the next chord change specifically and see if you can get there on the and of 4. And it seems impossibly hard to think about and remember and count and subdivide. And what does that even mean, getting to the next chord early? Good questions. I would love to talk to you about that. And that's what we do inside Jazzwire. But yeah, so there's a lot of loose ways to do it, but it's going to start sounding like real jazz to you, I think. So I'd like to turn it over to James. And, this was sort of my idea to talk about this. Now, is this making any sense whatsoever?
Yes, because one of the things that I have heard from buddies of mine who are great teachers that I've stolen is if we focus on anticipations like that, and a 4, that kind of a thing, it almost has the feeling that the music is pushing itself forward, almost falling forward at times. Mm-hmm. And I've always liked that sort of vibe when I'm trying to convince students they don't always have to play beat 1. There's nothing wrong with beat 1. Beat 1 is can be a bad you-know-what, but with our lines, it gives it that momentum. So I totally dig it. I'm gonna try to take it a step further. In addition to the and of 4 and upbeats allowing us to propel our lines forward and have more momentum, I'm going to try to use the downbeat of 4 and sustain it over a bar and see if that can give us not only a little bit of momentum, but also a feeling of maybe kind of like, how when you're driving down the road and you crest a hill and you kind of like, you lose, the car gets a little airborne, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if I can get that vibe. I don't know.
Well, 2 things. First of all, I've driven with you, so I know that feeling well. And
right.
And secondly, what you said earlier is, I'm going to take it a step further. Yeah, never before has a trumpet player said that to a tenor player. Whatever. That's a shocker. Okay, moving on.
I said further, not higher. Okay, here we go.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Got it.
Now I'm going to mess this up. Did that have any kind of
Oh man,
different sort of feeling
totally,
to it?
totally. Yeah, well, to me, that the beat 4 gives me a real strong New Orleans kind of vibe too, right?
The big 4, right? Yeah.
The big 4, where we, the drums, the bass drum would hit that big beat 4. So, man, I love that. It also it's at once very traditional and taking us back to African American brass bands in the 20s or whatever. But it also reminds me of Thad Jones and Monk because it's so quirky sounding. Monk was constantly hitting beat 4 and writing beat 4 into songs. And people talk about, man, Monk's so quirky, Monk's so this and that. Well, so what does that mean? Is it that he wore funny hats and would dance around some? Yes, but there's actually some musical things we can talk about. And his use of beat 4, this serious hard anticipation, which James just did a great job of for you. Yeah, that's it. Man, that was awesome. That was very cool.
Yeah, it's something that I don't do very often, but it's another one of those things I have to consciously make myself do for a chorus or two.
Yeah.
And I, when you brought up this concept, I thought, knowing the kind of player I am, if I try to think about this too much, it's not going to work. So some of us can be really methodical about these things. Others of us, we just have to kind of try and experiment and hear. So if you're one of those players out there where Jeff and I are talking about, really focus on the and of 4 or focus on beat 4, and you find you're getting like a little bit of vapor lock because you can't think your way into doing it, find good recordings of players doing that thing. Learn what they're playing and don't worry about what's happening analytically. Just internalize the sound. For me, this is one of those things where I have to just tell myself I'm going to try my best and try to hear it. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Totally. It's exactly right. And so I was thinking, well, people should, do some listening. But sometimes, I was listening to a great Joe Henderson solo yesterday, but I wasn't aware of every rhythm he played. I'd have to stop and think. So how about melodies, Opening line of Billy's Bounce. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? Right there. Bird is showing us how to swing. And a 4 into that second measure of the blues. So look at bebop melodies. You're going to find this, I'm going to say, as often as not. I mean, it's pretty ubiquitous.
Well, and speaking of what we've been doing inside Jazzwire, by the way, check out the free trial, right? We want to see you guys inside Jazzwire. There's really good stuff happening. And I want to see you all in there. The video that I did the guided listening for last week was Joe Henderson's recording of 4. That's another great melody. The whole melody is based on that idea of hitting those offbeats and having that thing really propel you forward. Yeah, you're right, Jeff.
Yep.
You're going to find that in bebop melodies all over the place.
That's it. So exactly what you said. For those of you that aren't, don't hear rhythms and immediately know that's the and of 4 or that's beat 3. Yeah, just look at these melodies that you know and you love. They're everywhere. Speaking of the guided listening, that was a fantastic one you did last week. The one I'm doing for next week is from one of my favorite albums of all time, Nancy Wilson and Cannonball Adderley. You know that album, right?
I know that album. It's hanging up on my wall. Oh my gosh.
There you go. Well,
woo!
Well, the Adderley estate was wondering who had the original, so I'll let them know. Yeah. And I'm going to be talking about Happy Talk, that tune that Nancy Wilson sings. And there's not actually a lot of soloing on it, but the arrangement, the drumming on it, how she's singing, like I get chills just thinking about it.
Ooh, I'm having to resist the urge to play all those little fills that Nat plays behind
Man,
me. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Nat Adderley's fills are so dang good on that. So anyway, I hope everybody tunes in, and the way you get to hear these guided listening sessions are inside Jazzwire. Sign up for the free trial, and there's 5, 6, 7 of them there. Watch them all, absolutely. But of course, we want to work with you in an ongoing fashion there. So let's leave it there, James. We got places to go, and shirts to change, and all
Maybe.
of that laundry to be done.
I'm not sure if I'm going to change my shirt. The jury's
you're
out.
rocking it, man. There's no need whatsoever. All right, everybody, check out Maryland Winter Jazz, and we'll see you next time.
All right, peace, you guys.